Hello, this is Beverly from scrapandthread.blogspot.com. Today I wanted to talk to you about the Base and Bling. Base and Bling is a line of wearable crafting projects with metal bases that you can dress up with fabric, paper, and accessorize and personalize it to your own interests. And it's something that's put out by Close to My Heart. And you can you purchase all of the components separately so that it fits your style. This happens to be the faux gold antique chain here. It's a 30-inch chain with a 2-inch extender. It's made out of steel. The charms are a zinc alloy base. Everything's lead-free. There is some nickel in some of the products, so if this is something of interest to you, I will have all that information on my blog, so please do look at that so you can find out more information about it. But you select your pendant style. This happens to be the square one. There's a circle one as well. And then you also select the glass cover, and that fits right in there after you've put your artwork in. You get 3 of the glass pieces in a package. You get 3 of the pendants in a package. The chains are sold separately, and then you can select an assortment of charms. This happens to be part of the storyteller charm. It has these 3 pieces in both the antique silver and the gold. There's a little love, puffed love heart, a crown, and the Eiffel Tower. And I've used the gold ones on a project that I'll show you in a moment. And then you also choose a style sheet. And the style sheets are self-adhesive. There's 32 on here. They're each 1 inch by 1 inch, and they fit perfectly into the square pendants. If you use the circle, I used a 1-inch circle punch here. And that fits perfectly as well on the circular pendants. So after you've made a number of jewelry type projects, you may have a lot of leftover or a few leftover style sheet stickers. And so I want to show you some ideas of things that I've done other than jewelry to use up some of my my stickers here. Okay, so what I did was after I selected one of the style sheet stickers that I liked, I stuck it into my pendant. I put some liquid glass on top of it and put quite a bit on there, and then I stuck the glass tile on top, the glass cover on top of that. And after it dried, I took apart one of my chains at the top, and I took the lobster claw and the clasp off and the extender chain, and I made a charm for my crush book. And I also then put the other charms on here. So this fits perfectly on here because this is a little spiral for the lobster charm. I will show in a moment what else you can do with the sticker sheets and make a charm for a bigger type binder because I want to make one for my Filofax. So that's one option. Another option is of course, just using the stickers as stickers. You can put them on cards and layouts and things. But I like things with more dimension. So I used some of the dimensional elements that I have. And I used 4 different packages because I just happen to have a lot of them laying around. But most of these came with the Cricut cartridges, but they're sold separately as well. This one's mixed shapes, this one's signage. This one is snapshots, and this one is framework. And what I did first was I selected whatever artwork it was going to be that I wanted to have on there, and I selected my shapes. I put paper on all of them, either on the back or on the front, because I knew it would frame out the artwork, because these are all a little bit bigger than 1 inch. This one happens to be exactly 1 inch, so I did stick a piece of paper on the back with the liquid glass, and then this was the easiest one, and then I just took that after I punched it out and stuck it on. As I said, they're self-adhesive, so this was very simple, and that will look really nice on a layout. Or you could make any of these into magnets. You could put them once again on cards. You could use them on home decor items, things like that. So the way that I made the other ones was that as I said, I put paper on. Most of them have paper on the front and the back. And then on this one, I embossed it first. and then put liquid glass on it and let it dry that way. I did the opposite with this, where I put the liquid glass on first, let it dry overnight, and then embossed it, and it made it a little rougher here. And this one is the exact same thing, but I did not emboss it, and so that gives you a little bit different look. And the liquid glass does change the color of paper, some papers, and it can also affect photographs. So if you do put a photograph in here, make sure you test part of your photograph prior to using it in your pendant, because it may change the way that it'll look. The color may run, or it may just change the colors depending on the processing. So this is a black background with stars from some of the new paper that's coming out, and it changed it when it was covered with liquid glass to a little bit more brown, which I actually really like because it makes it look more vintagey. So I'm totally okay with that. But the way that I embossed it, if you like the embossed look, is I just used Versamark. I took it, took the chipboard piece prior to, as I said, I would do it prior to putting liquid glass on there, because the liquid glass does melt with the heat gun. And then I just kind of got it moist all around the edges. And then I keep my embossing powders in little containers like this. Makes it a lot easier for me because I'm a little bit messy. And then I just dumped it in here. I kind of brushed it off a little bit with my fingers so I didn't have extra embossing up here. And then I held it with a pair of tweezers to heat it up so that I wouldn't burn my fingers. And that was a really easy, fun, fast way to do that. Let me show you the next project. Okay, so I had a couple of tips that I wanted to share with you, and I'll show you how to go about using some of the artwork and the other pieces. But here's a photograph, and I'm going to use just this little, my daughter's dog. So I took the square glass cover to figure out if that's going to work out okay and make a good pendant, or a good picture for the pendant. And so what I'll do is I will trace around that with just a really fine tipped pen to cut it out. And then I know that it'll be the right size, and also that this will make a really cute picture. And then it's kind of hard to see, but I did test here. It's dry now, but this is what the liquid glass looks like. And here to check on the colors, to make sure that when I do put liquid glass on top of the photograph, it's not going to run, and you can see that there's no change in the color, nor did any of the inks run. I got these printed at Costco, so this particular batch there was no issue with. But I would always check any batch that I was doing, because photo processors do change their processing sometimes, and I've had good luck with Costco's in the past, so I'm not too concerned about it, but just to kind of give you an idea. And then this was one of the stickers. This is where it was. And I put it on here, and then I put the liquid glass on there. And one of the things about liquid glass, when you use it, it's not a good idea to shake the bottle beforehand, because you will get air bubbles in there. And then I try to, when I use it, you just take off the lid. I usually, on a paper towel or something, just will squish out a little bit in the beginning. There'll be a few more air bubbles. And the reason why you don't want air bubbles is because if it dries with them on there, you will see them. And another way to get rid of some of the air bubbles is, if you do end up with them on your piece, then you can take a very small straight pin or some other something with a very small point, like a toothpick or something, and kind of pull the bubbles off to the side, and then that will help also. Otherwise, you end up with them in your artwork when you're done. So I'm going to speed this all up so you can see what I'm doing, but I just wanted to explain it a little bit beforehand. so I let these dry for overnight, and you can see that they're nice and shiny. It's got a really nice gloss finish to it. I did want to mention that the style sheets are acid-free. They're also buffered and lignin-free. So if you do want to stick the stickers just straight onto a layout, there isn't any problem for in doing that. The dimensional elements, the chipboard that Close to My Heart makes, is also acid-free, as well as the liquid glass. On this one, I knew I wasn't putting this on a scrapbook page, so I didn't really care whether or not it was acid-free as far as the surface. So I just found a piece of cardboard and cut it to 1 inch, and then put a sticker, one of the style element sheets on the one side of the piece of cardboard, and on the other piece, on the other side, you saw me putting liquid glass on a piece of cardstock. It's called Outdoor Denim. And so on this style sheet, as I said, it didn't matter if it wasn't acid-free. But because it's cardboard here, I can either paint the edges, or I ended up using one of the new alcohol-based markers that Close to My Heart is carrying starting in August of 2014, and just running it along the edge, and then that will work just fine for what I want this to look like. But I could paint it if I wanted to, or put some gesso on there would work okay. Just sort of depends on what color you're looking for. Since I had put Outdoor Denim on the back, I wanted to have kind of a darker blue around the edge. And then what I'm going to do with this is use a very small but kind of a heavy-duty punch, and punch it in the corner so I can make it into like a little charm all by itself. And I have some just leftover jewelry making supplies with some jump rings, and then I can insert the jump ring in there. And I might need to make that just a wee bit bigger. The thing with any of the charms or the chains, they have jump rings on them. With jump rings, you don't want to pull them apart. You want to just twist them back and forth together. Otherwise, you can end up having them snap if you try to pull them apart too frequently. And so then that just makes a little charm like that. And I'll put that on my charm that I'm making for my Filofax. You can make purse charms. With the little pendant on this one, I took the charm here, the love heart, and I made it into a keychain for my daughter, for her dog, or she could hang it from her purse and use it as a purse charm also. And if you have any charms that you know would be great for a layout for your scrapbooking, you can go ahead and use those. This is a 2-page layout, and I used the little crown here, and I just stuck it down with a glue dot, and this that fits my layout really nicely. And let me see, I was going to show you one more thing here. Oh, this one, this is the Hip Picks album. You can just use any kind of adhesive that's pretty heavy duty, because it's not very heavy, but it does need some extra adhesive. So either the liquid glass again would work really well, or some glue dots would work well to hold that down. But then you can just use that as kind of an extra little embellishment on your scrapbooking. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I appreciate you spending some time with me today. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.